what are we going to do? We are going to create subnets. We are going to create database by launching RDS instance. For that, we need to create subnet groups to attach subnet groups in while launching instance. Then we are going to connect database through Linux, and we are going to connect database through Windows. Clear? Clear
Yes,
about
yes,
the
ma'am.
steps? So first, we are going to launch database instance. For that, open your console. What I need to type here? Which service?
RDS. RDS.
RDS. Managed Relational Database Service. So this is the dashboard of RDS, where you can see the option create database. What is actually RDS? What are we going to do with this RDS service? We are going to launch, deploy or spin a database instance. Clear? So for first step, everyone please write steps because I don't have steps of RDS. You need to write when I show the labs. Are you all ready with your
Ma'am, we are
pen and
going
paper?
to, yes. Ma'am, we are going to launch, deploy and
Spin.
oh,
Spin database server or database instance. In EC2, we have launched EC2 server, right? Here we are launching database server. So after we launch, we'll not get the console like to connect. We cannot connect directly from RDS. For connection, we need to go to EC2. We need to launch EC2, connect, and we need to connect RDS and EC2. Okay, let's start. This is the dashboard of RDS. First, the left side, can you see subnet groups?
Yes, ma'am.
First, we are going to
Yes.
create subnet groups. First, we are going to create subnet groups. Why are we creating subnet groups? So while launching database instance, while creating database, we can add this subnet, we can attach this subnet groups in database. Clear? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. So you can switch to any region. So I'm in North Virginia now. With any region you can do. So first we are going to create subnet groups. Why are we creating subnet groups? So while we launch RDS instance, we are attaching the subnet groups in that instance. So first, the left side from the dashboard, you need to select subnet groups. You can see here the option to create database subnet group. Yes. Click.
Yes.
When you click, you can see two boxes. One, subnet group details, where you need to give the details of subnet group. Second, where you need to add subnets. So first, in subnet group details, you need to give the name of your subnet. For example, I'm giving here database, this database subnets. And description, earlier in other services, description was optional, but here it's a mandatory. You need to give the description. For example, now I'm giving here, I'm creating this subnets for database or for RDS. And we need to choose a VPC. So this is a default VPC. Can you see here NV? This is a default VPC which is created by AWS. I have given the name as NV because I accidentally deleted the default VPC. So again, I need to create, and I have given the name as NV. This is a default VPC. So I suggest everyone to select default VPC for now. You can select custom VPC also, but for now, please select default VPC. Clear everyone? Subnet group details. What you need to do, you need to specify the name, description, and you need to select the VPC. In add subnets, here you can see availability zones. You can choose any 2 availability
Yes.
zones. Because I'm in North Virginia. In North Virginia, there are 6 availability zones, right?
Yes, ma'am.
In other regions, there
Yes.
are 3
Three.
availability zones,
Three.
A, B, and C. Because I'm in North Virginia, it's showing me 6 availability zones, so I can choose any 2 or 3, but more than 1. So I'm selecting 2 availability zones. In subnets, well, if I select availability zone 1, A and B, so it will give me the subnets from availability zones A and B. So I need to select, it automatically pops up. So you need to select manually the subnets. Clear? In add subnets, you need to select the 2 availability zones. You cannot select one. If you select one availability zone and one subnet, then it will not create. We are creating subnet groups. Groups means more than one, right?
Ma'am, okay, yeah.
So in availability
You can
zone,
just
select,
can once again add subnet.
sorry,
Add subnets. We need to add 2 or 3.
2. In availability zone,
Two
select 2
subnets.
subnets. If you
Okay.
select 2, it automatically gives you the 2 subnets from this particular availability zone. So you need to select that subnets and just create. Clear everyone? Can you see here? I have created database subnets.
Ma'am is in charge.
Please mute your mic online. Yes. Please create subnets. I'm giving you all 2 minutes. Create subnet groups. It's very easy. Just 2 steps. You need to give the details and you need to select 2 availability zones, 2 subnets. That's it. Parisa, very good. Baba Yasmin, very good. Others, do it fast. Okay. So first, what we have done, we have created subnet groups. Now second, we are going to create database by launching RDS instance. So now we have created subnet groups, right? Why we have created the subnets? So while we create database, we'll attach this subnet groups. Clear? Now the second is in dashboard. Can you see databases? Click. you can see here create database option. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Please write steps, everyone. Create database. First, what you need to do? You need to specify some parameters for creating database. Here you can choose the creation method. It's two methods here. One is standard create and other is easy create. When you select easy create, just in 2-3 steps you can create database. But we want to know all the parameters, right? For that, we are selecting standard. We are choosing standard create. So the first step creation method will be standard create. Are you all writing?
Yes.
Okay. So first step for creating database is choose standard create. Second, there are engine options. How many engines AWS provides? 8 engines. These two have launched by AWS. This is a product of AWS Aurora. AWS Aurora. These are the 8 engines. How many SQL engines AWS provides?
8.
Yes.
8 engines.
So now we are selecting MySQL. So select MySQL in engine options. Select MySQL type. This every engine is based on SQL. Aurora SQL, MariaDB is based on SQL, Oracle SQL, Postgres SQL. But we are selecting MySQL. Addition, that is MySQL community. That means all the engines are based on SQL. Understood? Second step. In second step, what you need to select in engine options? MySQL.
MySQL.
Now the third is you need to select the engine version. MySQL, we are going to select the latest version, that is 8.0.35. This is the latest version. So we are going to keep it default. This is the latest version. Clear, everyone?
Yes.
Okay. So now templates. Under templates, there are 3 options. One, to create this database for production environment, or to create this database for dev environment or testing environment, or to create this database for free tier. What are we going to select?
Free tier.
Free tier. Yes. So if we select production, here we can define availability and durability. But because we are selecting free tier, it's not required. In settings, now the next step in settings, DB instance identifier. DB instance identifier is basically the name of your DB instance. Like in EC2, the first parameter is name, right? While we launch EC2 instance, the first parameter we specify as a name, right? We'll give any name. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
So similarly here in database, it's known as database instance identifier. You can give any name here. Database identifier is case sensitive, but it's stored as lowercase letters. You need to give name in lowercase letters. For example, MyDB instance. You can keep this as default, or you can give MyDB instance or any name. So what is this basically? Identifier? The name of your instance. DB instance. Name of your DB instance. So now credential setting. So what's the default username of DB instance? Admin.
Admin.
Yes, admin. So here, because this is when after launching this instance, we cannot connect directly from RDS. We need to launch EC2 and we need to connect there. So for connection, we need some credentials. We need username, we need password, we need endpoint and port number. So now we are setting the credentials. For that we need password. We can either give this custom password, we can create a password here, or we can auto generate. I'm choosing auto generate because I'm bad at passwords. So select auto generate. If I select auto generate, AWS will create password for me. Strong password. Clear everyone? Under settings, what we need to do? Identifier, you can either keep database 1 as default or you can change the name. Master name will be admin by default. And you can create the password or you can auto generate a password. Auto generate, AWS will create the password for me. Clear everyone till here?
Yes.
Okay. So now instance configuration, the second parameter here under instance configuration, we need to select the instance type, like T2 micro, like we did in EC2. Here it's DB T2 micro, database T2 micro or database T3 micro. For now, this is for free. T2 micro, T3 micro, which is highlighted, right? These highlighted ones are for free. So select T2 micro, which gives you 1 CPU and 1 GB RAM. Clear? Instance configuration, you need to select the instance type. Select T2 micro. It will not show free tier eligible because we have in the previous step we have already selected free tier, right? That's why beside this T2 micro it will not show free tier eligible. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now the next parameter is storage. Under storage, can you see storage type here? What is SSD?
Yeah.
Solid state permanent storage.
Yes. It's a permanent storage. Now there are two types of SSD, like general purpose and provisioned IOPS SSD. Here IOPS is basically the speed, the input output per second. General purpose is used by developers, dev environment, testing environment, but provision is used by production environment where your application is faced to public. For high speed, we use provision in production environment, but now we are using general purpose. Why? Because we are in a free tier and developer team, testing team uses general purpose because they don't need much speed. But in production environment, because the application is faced to public, you need high speed. Within seconds, you will get the data if you choose provision. Clear everyone? Storage type?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Now allocated storage. So here the minimum storage is 20. In EC2, what was the minimum storage? 8 GB.
8 GB.
8 GB. But here it's 20 GB. 20 GB is the minimum storage in database. So keep it default. And maximum you can increase till 6144 GB. Minimum should be 20. Can I give 19 here? No. When I give 19 here, then when I create database, it will not create. So 20 is minimum. So the next is very important here. Can you see storage auto scaling?
Yes.
Okay, you need to select that. So when you select storage auto scaling, you can see maximum storage threshold here, which is 1000. By default, it will be 1000. You need to give 22. So what is maximum storage threshold? What is storage auto scaling? It's like this is after launching, for example, this is a database server. So after launching this database server, there are 100 users who are using your server. For that 100 users, 20 GB is enough. But if 500 people, 500 users are using my database server, so if it cannot handle the load, it will hang, right? Performance will be slow. Performance becomes slow. So if we define maximum storage threshold here, 22, we have defined 22. So it automatically, based on the traffic, based on the users using our database server, it automatically increases the storage to 22. If we give here 50, so it can automatically increase to 50 if there is a lot of traffic on my server, database server. Clear, everyone? Yes?
Yes.
No, ma'am. Can you explain?
Sorry?
Can you explain once again?
Okay.
Minimum, maximum, I mean,
Minimum is 20. Like if
restricted.
you give maximum here, maximum, why we define maximum storage here? So this is your database server. Your database server, you have defined 20 GB. So now if 100 people are using your database server, so it will 20 GB will be enough for 100 people. If 500 people or 1000 users, they are using the same server, so performance becomes slow, right? Because 20 GB,
Yes.
the server cannot handle the load of more 900 people. So if we define the GB here, if we define 22, or the GBs here, the extra GB, so it automatically it increases the storage size without human interference. Without human interference, it automatically increases the size based on the traffic which is getting to my database server. That is known as storage auto scaling. Clear?
Okay. Okay,
Yes
ma'am.
or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Sure. So maximum value you can give until up to 6144 GB. Minimum should be 22 GB here. So by default it will be 1000. You need to give 22 or 23, 24. Clear, everyone?
But for
And the
me,
storage,
22 is not accepting. So I can give any number
no,
in the
it will
range.
accept 22 because it's a minimum value. So
Use
here if
the
you have
arrows.
given, okay, here if
Uh,
you have given 22, then it will not accept 22 here.
Okay.
You can give 23 or 24. It couldn't be same. Allocated storage and auto scaling. Clear, everyone? In storage, 3 steps: storage type, allocated storage, and storage auto scaling, where you need to define the maximum storage. Clear? Yes or
yes,
no?
ma'am.
Okay,
Yes.
now
Yes, ma'am.
connectivity type. In connectivity, there are two options. In resource, don't connect to EC2 instance or connect to EC2 instance. So if we select connect to EC2 instance, it automatically connects to EC2, but it will charge. So in real time, you need to connect. But now, because we will be doing manually, we are going to create EC2. We are going to launch EC2 instance manually. So for now, don't connect to an EC2 instance. Here you need to select the VPC, the default VPC. Then subnet groups. Can you see here the subnet groups which we have created in a previous step? First, we have created subnet group,
Yes.
right? So it will automatically give the subnet groups here. Then public access, yes, because we want to connect this database from Linux as well as from Windows. So that's why we are giving public. But in real time, it should be private. Database servers should be private. Why are we giving public here? Because we are going to connect to Linux and Windows. So in connectivity, don't connect to EC2 instance. Select the VPC, default VPC. Select the subnet groups which you have created and select public access. Clear till here?
Yes.
Now VPC security group. VPC security group, there are two options, choose existing or create new. So you need to choose existing one. If you choose existing, here it will pop up default. You can choose other security groups because you have chosen the default VPC. You need to select the default one. It will automatically be default. So in security groups, choose default. Availability zones, select and give any availability zone. You can select any availability zone, either A or B. So in security group, choose default security group, then choose any availability zone. Then scroll down, database authentication, keep it default. Password authentication, we are going to connect to password. So that's why it's password authentication. The last, you can see the estimated monthly cost. The cost is 12.41 based on demand usage as described. Okay. You can see the information here of RDS 12 months, 750 hours for RDS in a single availability zone, 20 GB of general purpose storage, 20 GB of automated backup storage. So these are the steps. Then again, create database. So I'm giving the overview of this. First, you need to select the standard create, then engine type, select MySQL, version, latest version, templates free tier. In settings, give the name. Username will be default. Generate the password. Then in configuration, instance configuration, select T2 micro. In storage type, select SSD, general purpose. Allocate 20 storage. In auto scaling, storage auto scaling, give maximum threshold as 22. Connectivity type, select don't connect to EC2 instance. Select the VPC, default VPC, select the subnet groups which you have created in the previous step, give public access, choose default security group, choose any availability zone and create database. So creating database, just close this. So creating database, it takes 5 minutes to create database. So you need to wait on this window. Don't switch to another window because here you can see view credential details. So after creating database, after database is created, you will get the credentials, the username, the password, the endpoint, which you need to copy and paste in Notepad. Why? Because we are going to launch EC2 instance and we are going to connect this database to in EC2 instance. Clear everyone? Can you all do now? You need to wait for 5 minutes. Creating database takes 5 minutes. So AWS RDS does not offer query console where we can directly connect. We require other client tools like Linux or Windows to connect the database. Are you all creating?
No port
Yes.
number or something.
Okay. Okay. So port number you can see in details. So here, these are the steps to create database. So it will take 5 minutes to create database. Refresh. Now the status is backup. Now it's available. So when the status is available, you can see view connection details here. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So what you need to do, you need to click to view connection details. It will generate the username, password, and endpoint. You need to copy. It will show only one time. So no, open your notepad or wordpad. Paste. This is the password. This is the endpoint. Copy and paste. Endpoint. And the name is admin. Right? So you need to copy the username, the endpoint, and the password. Clear? Clear, everyone? So now the next step is you can see your instance identifier here, the name of your instance identifier. Click to that blue color link. Are you all following the steps?
Yes.
Okay, so you need to click to your instance which you have created. Scroll down. Here you can see connectivity and security details, monitoring, login events, configuring. You can see the details here. So under details here you can see endpoint and port number, networking, security, right?
Yes.
So here under security group, can you see security groups in blue color default? Click. When you click to that, it will open the security group. This is the security group 263. So now here we are changing the inbound rules. We need a protocol. Which protocol we need? SSH is to connect. But for database, because for database, the protocol we need is MySQL protocol. So you need to select, go to actions, edit inbound rules. Here, MySQL Aurora is already there in inbound rules. But for some, it will not be there. So you need to add rule. Add rule, you need to give MySQL Aurora, and in custom you need to give anyway. And you need to save the rules. For me, it's already given. So save rules. In type, you need to give Aurora, and in source, you need to give anywhere. That means anyone can access. Save rules. Clear, everyone, what you need to do? Yes?
Yes.
Explain it once again, please.
So in details of your database, you can see the network. In the security, under security, you can see your security group. You need to select that security group. So in that security group, you need to change the inbound rules. In inbound rules, you need to give MySQL and the source, it should be anywhere. This is a protocol you need because you're connecting this with EC2. So EC2 needs a security group. So for that, here in protocol, we need to select MySQL and in source anywhere and save security group rules. Clear?
So when we
We have
select
already learned
anywhere, that would
how to
be,
edit inbound rules. Yes?
ma'am, selecting anywhere could be, is it selecting custom or anywhere IPv4?
Anywhere IPv4.
Okay.
Clear, everyone?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. So now we have done launching RDS instance. We have created subnet groups. We have created database by launching RDS instance. Now we need to connect this database which we have created to Linux. So for that we need EC2, right? We have created. Now we want to connect this database to Linux in Linux. So for that we need EC2 service. So go to EC2 service. Go to EC2, launch instance. Same, how do you launch instance? Launch like that. Give the name. Give any name. The thing you need to change here is you need to select Amazon Linux. In Amazon Linux, you need to select Amazon Linux 2 while launching because Linux 1 does not support MySQL. You cannot install MySQL in Linux. You can install MySQL in latest version of Linux. So you need to select Amazon Linux 2. Clear? Yes? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Select Amazon Linux 2, then everything default. You can create key pair or go without key pair also. Just launch instance. Same steps. You know very well how to launch instance. Refresh. Have you all copied and pasted in Notepad the connection details?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Why we are launching EC2 instance here? Anyone? So
To connect to
directly, yes,
database to the
Linux.
database. Yes, we are connecting our database with Linux because RDS, when we launch RDS, will not get this query. This is known as query console. We'll not get the query console so that we can connect directly. We need another service or we need either Linux or Windows to connect to database. So now when it's running state, connect, select EC2 instance, connect. So this will be my normal Linux server, right? If I want to convert my normal Linux server into database server, what I need to install? I
My
need to
SQL.
install. Yes, very good. So to convert our normal Linux server to database server, first we need to install MySQL. Now we are converting our Linux to database server. Do it till here. So this is my Linux server, normal Linux server. If I want to convert this server, Linux server into database server, I need to install MySQL in order to convert this server into database server. Because we want to connect to database. So what's the command to install? Sudo yum install mysql -y. Clear
Yes,
everyone?
for me it's still coming the same.
Okay, no worries. First, please write this. First, you need to convert our normal Linux server to SQL database server. For that, you need to install MySQL. So after installing MySQL, now we have successfully converted Linux server to database server. Here we need to pass one command to connect to database. So what's that command? MySQL -h. H stands for host name. Host name is basically the endpoint. You need to copy the endpoint. Copy endpoint. Paste. Right click and paste. So first what you need to do, the first is MySQL. The command is MySQL space -h. It stands for host name. Then space, you need to paste the endpoint. Then space. Then you need to type here -u. -u space -u stands for username. What's your username? Admin, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so type
Yes, ma'am.
admin,
Admin.
then space -p. -p stands for password. So what's the command? MySQL -h hostname. You need to paste the hostname here. Hostname is endpoint. Then space -u stands for username. So you need to paste the username. Then space -p, that stands for password. After -p, just you need to enter. When you enter here, you need to type the password. Enter the password. You need to copy the password. And paste here. Right click and paste. It will not show the password because in Linux, due to security reasons, it will not show the password. Enter. As soon as I enter, can you see here, welcome to MariaDB monitor. Here you can see MySQL in the place of EC2 user. That means I have successfully connected to MySQL. Here you can do all the database commands, not you, the database administrator. The role of cloud engineer is to launch the database server and give it to database administrator or any admin. Our role is just to launch the EC2, just to launch the instance, database instance, and to connect, and give the credentials to admin. This work is done by database administrator, where he can create tables, he can create databases. Clear, everyone? If it shows MySQL welcome to MariaDB, that means we have successfully connected to MySQL through Linux. Clear?
Yes.
Okay, please do it now. So we have launched the RDS instance, and we have connected database to Linux, right? Now the last is we are going to connect database instance to Windows. For that, what we need to do, we need to install SQL Workbench. We are using Windows operating system, right? So in Windows operating system, we are going to install MySQL Workbench. Type MySQL Workbench, go to Downloads, select Download here. You can see two options, login or sign up. Under that, you can see no thanks, just start my download. When you click this, it will be downloaded. Workbench will be downloaded. Understood, everyone? Download Workbench, MySQL
Yes.
Workbench. And with MySQL Workbench, you need to download Visual C++. Some versions of MySQL Workbench works with Visual C++. It's a support software of Workbench. So
Ma'am, which
Visual C,
website? My SQL Workbench? The first one or second one?
first one or second one, and both you can see the download option.
Okay.
When you download, click download again, then you can see no thanks, just start my download. When you click to this link, it will be downloaded.
Mm.
So with a Workbench, what you need to download? Visual C++. It's a support software for Workbench. Visual C++, download latest version, the first one. Scroll down, you can see here 64-bit. When you click to this link, Visual C++ will be downloaded.
Visual C++. Visual. Microsoft.com.
Very good, Abida and Sumaya and Farah. What about Farisa? Tasneem? Okay, done. Everyone downloaded? So when you, after downloading, you need to open Workbench from here. Can you see here MySQL Workbench? This is the MySQL Workbench. When you download it, it will be downloaded like this. This is the welcome page of Workbench. Can you see here MySQL connections? Small plus. Please write steps. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
So now open your Workbench. Here you can see MySQL connections. Here you can see small plus. You need to click this plus. When you click this plus, here you need to give the credentials. First, you need to give the connection name. What's your connection name? My database instance. The name of your database instance. What is your name of the database instance?
My database instance.
Yes. So here when you open Workbench in connections, connection name, you need to give the name of your instance. Host name. What is the host name? The endpoint. Copy and paste the endpoint. Then the username. What is the username?
Admin.
Yes, admin. And here in password, you can see store in vault. When you click this, here you need to paste the password. Copy password and paste. Then select OK. So what you need to do here in connection name, you need to give the name of your database instance. You need to give the name of your database instance, not the name of your EC2 instance. You need to give the name of database instance. Host name will be the endpoint. Username will be the admin. When you select password, when you click here, it will pop up a box where you need to paste your password. Then test connections. Test connections. OK. Then select OK. When you select OK, can you see here a box of my connection, my DB instance? Yes?
Yes.
Click. When you click, you will be automatically connected to SQL through Windows. Can you see here? I am connected to SQL. Here, database administrator can create tables, can do all the SQL operations. Clear, everyone? How to connect? The role of cloud engineer is just to launch the instance and to connect and give the credentials to the admin. That's it. Clear? How to connect to
Yes.
Windows? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. And here there are some interview questions. Is RDS storage auto scalable? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, very good. And how to make RDS secure? By giving VPC,
Yes, VPC.
right?
Security group.
VPC. And how many database can we create in a single region?
40.
Yes. And what's the difference between primary versus standby versus replica?
Primary and standby are the database servers. Replica is also the same, but replica is used by a business analytics team or
Yes,
data
very good.
analytics team.
Primary, standby, they all have the same
And that is
data
the
in
issue.
it, but if failover
It
happens in
switches
primary,
to
it will
standby.
automatically, yes, switches to standby. And how to encrypt REST level database engine? Okay, how to connect to RDS instance from home? By using Workbench.
Workbench. Okay.
RDS instance from home, you can, by using Workbench, you can connect. Now, how to encrypt REST level data? What is encryption? See, while launching RDS instance, this is your, when you create database, while creating, there is a parameter where you can encrypt the data. How? Here you can see additional configuration. Under additional configuration, you will have option to encrypt data. Enable encryption, can you see here?
Yes.
So where it will be? It will be in additional configuration. Last, just before estimated monthly cost, you can see additional configuration option. Here when you scroll down, here you can see and enable encryption. So this is how you enable encryption while launching. By default, it will be enabled only. So the important steps after doing your labs is you need to delete database. Or to delete database, click database, go to actions, delete. So while deleting, when you delete, it will give you a box. In that box, you can see create final snapshot. So do you want to create backup? No. So deselect, then retain automated backup. No. Deselect. When you deselect this two, it will give you the option of I acknowledge something. Select that. And here to confirm deletion, you need to type delete me. Type delete me.
True.
Delete me and delete. You need to, it's very important to deselect the snapshot and the backup. Then select I acknowledge and delete. It takes 5 minutes to create, right? And also it takes 5 minutes to delete database instance. You can also go to subnet groups and delete the subnet groups.
Ma'am, again, can you just repeat the delete?
Delete, go to actions, delete. While deleting, you can see you need to deselect the options, snapshot option and backup option. Now because it's in deleting process, it will not highlight. So two main steps after doing all these labs, you need to delete database and remember, make sure you delete EC2 instance as well. Delete EC2 instance. Also delete RDS database. Clear everyone?
Ma'am, can we keep it for 24 hours? Like just like instance, we
No,
can
you
keep it or
cannot create. No, you cannot
okay.
keep it for 24 hours.
Okay.
It will charge.
So just for a few hours also we can keep it.
Yes.
Okay.
It's better
Just for
after,
practice.
as soon as you practice, just delete it.
Okay.
So it takes 5 minutes to delete. After deleting, you can delete subnet groups. After it's fully deleted, status is deleted, you need to delete subnet groups. So in today we have completed RDS service. So thank you everyone.